Hello, I'm Delaney Howell, and today we're taking our conversation to Germany. Marcus Holtkoetter is a 10th generation and beyond German farmer, and we'll share a little bit about his farm's background today, as well as his ability and his passion to take it to a global stage as he travels and shares his story with fellow farmers, policymakers, and others who are impacted by the world of agriculture. And last but not least, we also take some time to recognize Marcus and his recent announcement as being awarded the latest Kleckner Global Farm Leader Award recipient. So without further ado, let's turn it over to our conversation with Marcus Holtkoetter. You mentioned the Ukrainian war, so I want to circle back around to that because you have really helped to support the other Global Farmer Network member from the Ukraine and have gotten him in front of a lot of policymakers there in the EU. And just right away, it sounded like once the war started, you reached out to him, and what happened from there?
A few weeks earlier, Case was on my farm for having a cup of tea and coffee and eating cake and talking. And normally the plan was go at Easter, so a few weeks after starting the war, I want to visit him on his farm with my kids. And then it comes to Ukrainian war. And we meeting us together earlier than our plans was. But I think it's extremely bad what there happened. And we had to do all what we can do to help them, because it's one is the farmers, the people in Ukraine. The next is it has a very big impact on the world food market. So it's for my side as a farmer, and when I see that's idea from the Global Farm Network, helping other farmers and bringing them to the right people, help them to connect them to the right people who can help and who can do something. And I love that. I love that to do that and talk with different guys, different farmers and politicians, explain what happens. And that was, for my understanding, when we see what our politicians think, what's happened there in the first weeks, they don't understand what big impact will that have on the world food market, especially on wheat and corn. They don't understand that. I talked with a politician and he says, "Hey, where's the problem? You can harvest this year more winter wheat." So why? Yeah, because we need it. Yeah, but the problem is we seeded last fall, so that it seeds in October. So now we have March. It doesn't work. Okay, why? So he don't understand that what's happened, and he don't understand when I talk to him. Okay, we have wheat, but that wheat is not normally for bread. It's for pig feeding because of our rules for fertilizing pigs. And he asked, why is that with the fertilizer a problem to become bread wheat? So that there's no understanding about that. There's no understanding what's happened there. And when I was with Case at the government and we talked to the politicians, you can see at that moment they understand what's happened there and how big is the impact. It was silence. It was totally silence in the room. And you can see in their faces that they understand how big would be the impact and how important is it to help the farmers in Ukraine. I think for me, it's all the farmers worldwide to do that and talking about that. That's not only the Ukrainian war. The same thing is with pesticides, with fertilizer. Why we need it? Why we need modern crop protection? Why we need modern seed breeding, and also why we need modern technique on our fields. So when we see now more and more people talking about climate change, I think yes, we farmer can do a lot of against climate change. But in Europe, we have a problem, especially in Germany, we have a problem. The government don't let us because our toolbox for that is not allowed in Germany. So that's sometimes it's very frustrating. But when you see with the Global Farm Network, you had connections to so many farmers and can connect these politicians to farmers from around the world. And that was what I see. That's a lot of politicians change their mind, or maybe not change, but they are beginning to thinking about in a different way, and maybe they understand that her ideological way is not the way to save the climate. And that was the same with this case. We can talk to politicians and can show them, hey, what's happened there and why it's so important that you help them. And we had to stop this extremely stupid war.
Well, and I think that that's a good segue into talking about you taking international and national stages a lot. You travel a lot as a speaker for farmers to advocate for, using technology, using some of these practices that you mentioned. Why do you continue to travel? I mean, you're on the road a lot. It seems like certain times of year where you're, foregoing time with your family. You're obviously away from your farm and your job. Why do you keep going and presenting on these stages?
I think it's the only way and the only chance we have. And in the last 30 years, we haven't done that not enough. So that's the only chance we have is to talk to politicians, to talk to people, explain them what's farming is now, how looks farming now, how looks modern farming. A lot of people don't think it's so many technique, it's so many high tech. When you show them a new tractor or a new combine, it's all the digital stuff, and they are totally expressed. Oh, what's that? So we had to talk and we had to explain it. So that's in the last 30 years, we led this to do more to the NGOs, and they talking not for farming. They're only talking for their pocket. And so I think that's the only chance we have to talk as a farmer about what's farming and what's now farming, and to help these farmers who are interested in that, talking to other people and can do that. So not everybody can do that. So that's not a thing for everybody. Not everybody is interested in stay for 100 or 200 politicians or for the journalists and talking about what's now farming and what's happened on his farm or in his region. But we need these people who do that, and I like that. For me, it makes me fun. For me, it's a passion to talk with journalists, with politicians, and with other farmers. So it's not also this talking. So with all these meetings, you meet so many interesting people from the farming community. And in the last 10 years, maybe in the last 5-6 years, extremely, I learned so much about farming from around the world. That is why I'm go out and say yes, do that. I learned so much about farming, and sometimes it changed my mind about farming in different countries. I see, okay, that's totally different what our journalists or our NGOs taught us. And so that's, I think, okay, I have now understand that. And now it's important to bring this message to our politicians or our journalists, and who can do that better as farmers from this region. So I can talk about that, but not I'm the expert in farming in Brazil or Philippines or so on. So with the Global Farm Network, it's totally easy to bring farmers from there, connect them to our politicians. So connecting farmers from around Africa to our European politicians, so that they can explain them, our politicians, what's happened, what impact will we have the Green Deal on their farms in Africa. So when I talk about that, they don't believe me. But when a farmer from there talks about that, they have to believe, because he is a farmer from there.
Yeah, there's so many good things that you touched on there, but I want to keep moving because you're really kind of culminating all of these past events that you've done, and you're going to take a really big stage here at the World Food Prize, where you're going to be chatting as a farmer and your experiences. And you're also going to be honored with the Kleckner Global Farmer Leader Award, which is a really big deal. You're going to join a long list of other Global Farmer Network members who have received this award in the past. Marcus, what does this award mean, winning it this year for you?
I never expected that I will be a Kleckner Award winner. So because there are so many great farmers who was given to them in the past, and well, that call with Mary and Reg, I had nothing to say. I was crying. Yes, because it's an extremely honor. And yes, I'm never expected, but I see that as a little bit like representative what I do. So for all the farmers around and for all the people around me who helped me to do this, so that I can do because my wife and my family led to me to do this. So that it doesn't work without the family and without my wife. And my wife would say, no, it doesn't work. So it could be work. So that's and the same with all the other farmers who helps with that, with connecting, bringing them together. So that's the reason why I see a little bit more like a representative. But yes, I think it could be helping a lot of more because of so many people will see that with this award. You will see, I will connect it to so many other people, and maybe it makes it more easier to connect more politicians in a very important position to the right people.
Well, Marcus, I just feel like you're just kind of getting started with all of the great things that are in store and ahead for you as a farmer. And this Kleckner Award is really a way to honor and encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. So congratulations on that award. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.